This is Chair Abs episode number 41. It's about 11 minutes. Hi, welcome to Uncouching. We're going to do about 5 exercises today, a minute each. Sit at the edge of your seat. Make sure you're sitting up nice and tall. And we're going to start out with a pelvic tilt. So you're contracting just your pelvic. Squeeze and release. Squeeze and release. It's a very, very small movement, but very effective, and probably one that we don't do very often. So you're kind of scooting your booty back and in, back and in. Make sure as you're doing this that you're sitting up nice and tall in between. You come back to the full start position with your good posture. On a straight spine, and then tilt. Just kind of warming up here for the rest of the exercises we have today. We've got 2 cycles of these exercises. All right, let's go ahead and start with the next exercise, which is the double knee rotation. Sit up nice and tall. Hold on to the chair. You're at the beginning, front of your seat. You can either stop in the middle or you can just go straight side to side. Now, as we're doing this, we kind of have 3 levels. That's another option, is just bring one knee side to side. If you need a more advanced option for this exercise, then try to keep your toes off the floor at each corner. So I have my feet touching the floor, but if you need to make it even more intense, then try not to touch your toes on the floor. Again, go at your own pace. If you need to have one foot on the floor, at least for the exercise, then you can do the one leg at a time. All right, we're going to go into the next one, which is the alternating straight leg crossover. So grab your weights, 1 to 3 pounds, and you're going to go sit up nice and tall. And we're going to go ahead and do alternating crossovers. So you kind of hold your weights in a bicep position and then straighten out your weight, your arm, and your weight to the opposite leg. The opposite leg is straight. Try to keep those toes pointed. Try not to round your back as you're doing these. Try to keep your posture nice and tall. And again, as always, you can slow it down if you need to. Don't worry about if you can't get your leg up as high as your arm. You just go at what feels comfortable for you and what your level is. All right, we're going to go ahead and go to the next exercise, bent over row with reverse crunch. So bend over, weights down, pull them back and up. So when you're doing this, you want your elbows right up next to your ribs. Sit up straight. As you come down, you want your back to be flat, so make sure you're not rounding it. Make sure your back is nice and flat. If you notice, I'm not sitting straight tall. I'm going back a little bit into that reverse crunch. This is a combo movement. We do have a little bit of upper body work in here, a little bit of back work, while we're also working our core. You do not have to use the weights if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. If you're advanced, you could go up higher in the weights. You want to stop at each position, though, and make sure that you are really concentrating on that. All right, we're going to go to the next one, which is trunk rotation with the dumbbell push down. So make sure you're sitting up straight, nice and tall. Make sure that you are keeping your back nice and straight. If you notice, I am not rounding my back as I go side to side. You're just gently pushing down as you rotate to each side. Keep your core tight. Concentrate on your breathing. This is the last exercise in this cycle, and we'll start it from the beginning here in a minute. Lower body as still as possible. All right, we're going to start from the beginning. We're going to go back to the pelvic tilt. So set your weights down. You're on your edge of the chair, sitting up nice and tall. And then we're going to crunch and straighten, crunch and straighten. You guys are doing great. Keep it going. All right, we'll do this one for about a minute before we go on to the next exercise. Crunch and straighten, crunch and straighten. Breathe. All right. The next one is a double knee rotation. So you can either do both knees at a time, you can go in the middle, or you can just go side to side. Or you can do the split method where you just do one leg at a time. Just make sure you're concentrating on your abs to really pull those knees in. Crunch and straighten, crunch and straighten. So when your knees are to the side, you want to make sure that your posture, again, is nice and tall in between those crunches. If you need a more advanced move, like I said, you can keep your toes off the floor and just go side to side with your feet off the floor. All right, we're going to go on to the next one, which is the straight leg crossover. So grab your weights. Sit up nice and tall. Going to hold them in a kind of a bicep position. You want your legs straight and cross over. Keeping that back nice and straight. Don't hunch over. It doesn't matter how high your leg goes. Make sure it's more important that your form is good. If you feel like your form is being compromised, then slow it down. If you feel like the weights are too much, then you can set your weights down and just do it with no weights. Keep your toes pointed. Make sure you're breathing. All right. Next one is bent over row with reverse crunch combo. Bend over, weights down, pull them up to your side and back. Remember again that your elbows are nice and tight next to your ribs. Go back and flat back down and back, flat back, down, elbows back. So again, we're working a little bit of we're working the abs, and we're also working a little bit of the back. All right, almost there. Just a few more here. Can do abs 2 to 3 times a week if you're doing 20 minutes at a time, or if you're only doing 10 minutes at a time, you can do 4 to 5 times a week. I'll be putting more of these shorter ab videos on the channel, so stay tuned. All right, now we're going to go to the last one, which is the trunk rotation with the dumbbell push down. Sit up nice and tall, and to the side, and up to the side. So again, we're working the waist and the obliques. If you are more advanced, you can, of course, increase the weight on your dumbbells. Try to keep your bottom half of your body as still as possible. Make sure that you're not rounding over as you go to the side. You want to keep that back as straight as possible and come back to the full center position in between each side. All right, we're going to go ahead and put our weights down, and we're going to go to our stretch. So start at the edge of your chair, chest is back, look up at the ceiling, and then round your back, come to the front, clasp your hands. We've got a flat back here, arms straight out, and then one more time to the back. Breathe in through the nose, and thank you so much for watching.